Hello and welcome. It is the completion of the 30th day of November 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. It's now officially with the GMT time. It's November. It's December now. November's month ended with a 42.82% up month. The month before that, 28%. We had a month earlier that was up 24. We had one earlier at 35. And the first month was up 30%. And from the start of the year, 7,200, it's up 175% for the year. And as far as technical analysis is concerned, this monthly chart, excitation nicely amongst the 18. After all these periods showing strength amongst the highs, last month of October, it left it, and the continuation within this month, getting above these highs and now at previous ones. Now, as far as Fibonacci retracement, that's what I want to go with, because what a look it's got on the daily term time frame with a great breakout once it loads, that is. There we go. As the correction was short term, just like 4 days within the 18 excitation within today's session, and it's at the all-time highs now. If you look at this within the single hour, nice little move today. We're going to look at this correction. I want to go through Fibonacci. As we can see here, let's have this high divided by low and do all that fun type of stuff. So 19,863 is the high, and I'm going to put that in my calculator. And I'm going to divide that by the intraday low, which we can see at the 12-hour stamp, 19,011 as the low. That is just beautiful to say. And at some point, 19,000 might be well above. We could be having $20,000 days if we have this thing at like 300,000 and so on and so forth. So let's just take a look. First, let's take a look at the 19,209. Let's take a look at how the intraday session looked. That's 19,209. So, I got to think that was a key level today. Yeah, most certainly major support in here. That was a 23.6 and the 38.2. It's like a video game, different levels almost. Stage 2 or level 2, 39 or 19 and all threes, we'll say. Yeah, decent. We had resistance here. It supported it from this point on. The big one, though, was the 61.8, which was 19.5 and a third. Above that now. And amongst it, that was odd. That was a major pierce below here. Because it got up to like 23 and not 33. And I look at that, but as it goes, whether the number was 33, 41, it's managed to get back a decent percentage of its losses intraday and fast. And that's what's been going on a lot within these bull markets. Is when you have these corrections, and if you're trying to get the buys on the cheap, you got short periods of time and sometimes limited amounts. It's at that interesting stage. You're going to have that significant break if it gets past 20, which to me, the more as it's holding as well as it is on the short term today on the one, as we can see, and as I've already shown in this video and the previous one, how it's been just 4 days within the correctionary move of what has been almost a 2-month spectacular up run, and is just continuing within that spectacular up run, at least it looks like, within that supreme excitation of the 18 average of highs. Well, let's just see how this goes, because if it gets past the 20 number, and it very easily could, again, with 22, 23, 24, 26 in like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, could easily be the case. Whether it will or not, time will tell, but right now, we're not seeing any heavy resistance at this point. I mean, we still can have the spot where maybe it just has a little bit of a high higher or matching high, and either way, we've already established the first level of support previous at the 16,000. So if there's going to be any correctionary mode, that's one thing that an up market could turn into, is a range-bound market, and support resistance would have to be sideways. And that's one of the things I've been mentioning. It was going to have weak resistance, that it could happen. Maybe just chop around at this 20 number. But this is a situation where if it does those things I mentioned before, 22, 24, 26, how interesting it would be to see how altcoins like the LITECOINs and the Bitcoin Cash, the Teslas, the Ethereum, the chain links, and the whole surrounding cast of alternate coins will establish itself within that bull market. And as far as just going through more history again, the previous situation in here where, well, let's go to March of 2017, which is right in here. That's when I started trading the market, coins on the exchanges and such. And as I was doing it, I'm looking at all the charts at that time. And of course, Bitcoin was doing all of this, which was just showing nice strength amongst the 18 average of highs. And it was in an up mode. That was a big one, of course, in that note there. But as it was getting above, all coins went up. But at the time I was looking at it, everything was in the major bear markets against Bitcoin. As we're seeing the type of situations now with how a lot of these coins have been working out. Let's take a look at Ripple. You can see in here that since that 2018 highs, it's been making a furious pattern of, and I should be buying more of this. I've been buying a lot though, which is good. A furious pattern of lower highs and lower lows. And when these things go, and I think this one will, they're just going to go. Now, what I like about Ripple here, let me look at this against Bitcoin. Let's just also Ripple against the dollar too. Make this a Bitcoin/Ripple video. As we see here, and I want to see what the volume will say against the dollar too. So look at that. Then I want to see its long-term chart against the dollar as well. Established a support, but this move was nothing more than a failed rally. It establishes this level of resistance, which matched in here, getting above the 18 average of highs, showed a lot of strength amongst the 1800 average of highs, but thereafter that. Unable to sustain this move, but it looked like in here, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to think long, okay, this thing can go, but oftentimes if that good setup doesn't go, you got to watch it, because you could buy this and then just hold it, and you can see how you would have still better off holding Bitcoin than Ripple, better than two-folds better. From this point forward, as a precipitous decline occurred. And it's been in a long range. It's been since the failed breakout. That's event one. I was going to say event 1 or 2, but there's a bunch of events before. But event plus 1. The next event was this. The fast move. Failed move, then the fast move. 2 events. Event 3 has been this long sideways consolidation. So we're looking at that from September or so of last year to, let's look at like a little over a year, basically about a year. And as I see this have a nice little breakout, very good volume coming in. I mean, we have not seen this type of volume really ever on the Binance exchange. And it's doing this on a breakout point because to me, these big volumes can come at like 2 different times. At tops and at the start of the breakout stages. And to me, I think that's what this just might be. On the daily term time frame, we had this thing start to go up really nicely back on November the 21st, getting to a high of 4,200 Satoshi, now at 33 change. And you could draw up a lot of symmetricalness. You got a bunch of higher lows in here. Symmetrical triangle from this move. This is going to be a very interesting situation, of course, to say the least, but a big move to say. So when these things go, they can go really big. And I mean, the volume comes in nice in here, and this looks even nicer when you look at it against the dollar in this sense. To me, this thing, how does that move react? It's not the move that amazes me. It's how it reacts to the move. That's what I was trying to say. That to me is more important because you can see just beforehand you had a nice little setup here showing strength at the 18 highs in the early parts of November, a little bit of a breakout, some consolidation, and then just a fantastic move. And to follow that by having the 2 days go down, meeting up with the 18 highs, and now it's been about 3-4 days of just doing this and grinding its way. And I didn't expect to do this, but we can do some Fibonacci on this exact same way that I did within the Bitcoin. So what's the high in here? The high is 78.1 cents. So I'm going to just do it within that level there. So 781. And the low on November 26 was 45.6 cents. So 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna not look at the 23 because I don't think I need to. 56 and 63 and change. Okay, it always does that. So 56, you can see it came up to the resistance test in here, but look at how it reacted from it. Very well was the answer, because there's where it starts. First move comes right up to the 38.2, and then it has a nice correction. Now we have correctionary mode from this high to this low, and it succeeded in such by higher lowing it, retest here to this, and then the break in here, establishing this level of resistance. And that level of resistance, we could say 63.6 cents. I mean, it's just locked. I mean, why does it always do that? I mean, and I say it sarcastically, but it's true though. I mean, why does it always do it like this? It's cool though. I mean, hey, if it's got that kind of track record, I mean, that's why I keep using it. So 63.6 cents works in here, and then now what we see is all the strength and support. Yeah, this thing looks deemed ready to go. Short term, I know there's going to be some resistance around 68.8. I've already had it there, I think. I mean, what was this high? 67.9. I mean, usually it doesn't pierce less, though. So, I mean, that could tell me the move's going to continue going. This is just me thinking about how I would. Yeah, this thing is just going to keep going. And I'm putting this in because I'm just wondering if I should sell some more. So I'm just going to see which looks better. It's pretty much the same thing here. So, I mean, Dash to me's got a good setup too. I think it's got a chance to, with what it's doing here, have a pretty decent size gain. So I want to get out of it actually, but I want to get a good play it for a decent size move. Of course, it's in at 112. And let's finish off because I want to go over Ripple, but let's go over and take a look at this with most of the data. So again, for Poloniex, you can see here that the volume, this will be funny how bad the volume will be compared to 2017 because it's going to be so big in 2017 back when more people traded there. Yep. But as it goes on this long term, this move has at least gotten this downtrend to go sideways. And in that, what to me is like, oh, this is like, oh, we're seeing a good break. You have to be up to at least right here, which is like 61, 62. That would be almost double. But when these things, I mean, you look at the moves that it's had before. This one here, 1, 2, 3. And even this cheesy, oh my goodness, what a lame ass. That's the word I'm looking for, the words. But within the lame ass move, you go from a 43 handle to the 11 handle. 2.5x, 2.6x. Yeah, definitely not tripling it, but well better than doubling. Or making it not difficult to get a 2x move because you can easily buy in the lower areas or not sell at the highs, or you could shade like from here, like 6,000 would have to go to 12, which, well, it didn't do that, but 5,000 goes to 10. But even these moves in here in the past, 400 up to 23,000, 60x or something. I mean, there can be some amazing opportunities with these things when they get going. So another way of me saying this, another thing I want to say within this, is when we see on the shorter term time frames that these things can have phenomenal moves. You look at this, oh my goodness, this is so big, this is so overextended. Is it? When you look at this on the weekly, a little bit, but and then when you look on this, or another way of putting it is if this thing comes up and you start to see that this thing just has like fantastic fast moves, which it has the capability of doing. It just doesn't matter the coin; it could be any coin. It's pretty much the same situation for them all. That you have 150% in a day, maybe a 410% in 27 days or 15 days. Or I want to get to those numbers. Go like 2x or not 2. I guess you could use 2x for a 100% move. But I'm just like 6x and 8x and 20x, whatever it is. It's just easier to say 20x compared to 1900% when you get to the bigger numbers. And that's what these cryptos allocate a lot for more in probability. is those 4x, 8x, 10x, and 20x kind of moves. And now, of course, that Bitcoin is looking to get north of that 20K number. We could very easily be seeing some very wild, interesting action. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.